Underrated isekai exists beyond generic power fantasies, and today we're spotlighting 10 criminally slept-on shows where the main character is absurdly overpowered, hilarious, occasionally broken, and way more entertaining than they ever get credit for. Blowing off with number 10, The Unwanted Undead Adventurer. This one starts slow, but stick with it. Our guy Rent literally dies, comes back as a skeleton, and instead of screaming, "Isekai protagonist cheat code unlocked," he quietly grinds evolution like a cursed Pokemon. That's the charm. He's overpowered, but it's earned through pain, patience, and endless dungeon suffering. Watching him level from skeleton to ghoul feels oddly satisfying, especially when arrogant adventurers underestimate him and immediately regret breathing. The villains talk way too much for people about to lose, and Rent's calm, methodical energy makes it funnier. It's less flashy than other isekai, but that grounded tone makes the power spikes hit harder. If you like slow burn dominance with lore, evolution mechanics, and a main character who refuses to whine, this one quietly sneaks into your favorites list before you even notice. This is Emiverse Anime. Watch this video to the end and hit that subscribe button now. Sliding to number 9, I Parry Everything. Yes, that title is literal. No metaphors. No exaggeration. This man parries reality itself. The comedy comes from how seriously everyone treats something that's completely ridiculous. Dragons? Parried. Legendary weapons? Parried. Fate? Probably parried off screen. The main character is so absurdly strong that the world bends around his misunderstanding of how broken he actually is. And that's where the fun lives. The villains roll in with speeches about destiny, only to get blocked mid-monologue like they skipped leg day. It's self-aware without winking at the camera too hard, which keeps it charming instead of annoying. If you enjoy isekai that knows power scaling is nonsense and leans into it confidently, this one is pure, stupid fun, in the best possible way. Landing on number 8, Goodbye, Dragon Life. This one flips the usual power fantasy on its head. The main character starts as a literal dragon god, dies, reincarnates as a human, and somehow remains unfairly overpowered anyway. What makes it underrated is the emotional angle. It's not just flexing strength, it's about identity, loss, and adapting to weakness that isn't actually weakness. He keeps accidentally doing god-tier things while pretending he's normal, which is always funny. The world building is calmer, more reflective, but don't get it twisted. When fights happen, they end fast and unfairly. Villains assume reincarnated human equals easy win, and that confidence lasts about 5 seconds. If you want an isekai that mixes quiet introspection with sudden dominance, this one hits different than expected. Looking at number 7, The Strongest Tanks Labyrinth Raids. Finally, a tank anime that respects defense. Our protagonist isn't flashy, isn't screaming spell names, and isn't swinging galaxy-sized swords. He just refuses to die. Ever. Watching enemies unload everything they have only for him to stand there like, that all? Never gets old. The humor comes from how confused everyone else is. Parties crumble, bosses panic, and strategies fall apart because this man will not move. It's refreshing seeing an isekai where teamwork actually matters, but the tank still carries harder than anyone else. The pacing is solid, the dungeon mechanics feel thought out, and the power fantasy comes from endurance instead of explosions. If you're tired of glass cannon protagonists, this one feels like a deep breath. Rolling into number 6, Quality Assurance in Another World. This isekai is secretly unhinged, in a good way. The main character treats the fantasy world like a bugged video game, because to him, it basically is. Instead of raw combat power, his overpowered trait is knowledge, system abuse, and breaking mechanics the world didn't expect anyone to question. Monsters glitch. NPC logic collapses. Entire scenarios fail because he asked one reasonable question. It's funny, clever, and surprisingly tense when things go wrong. The villains think they're masterminds until they're exposed like broken code. This anime scratches the same itch as watching someone speedrun a game by accident. If you enjoy smart protagonists who win by understanding the world better than the world understands itself, don't sleep on this. Crashing into number 5, A Nobody's Way Up to an Exploration Hero. This is classic underdog isekai, but done right. The main character starts as background noise, then slowly becomes a walking disaster for anything standing in his way. What makes it fun is how low everyone's expectations are. He's constantly underestimated, dismissed, and ignored. Until the damage is done. The power growth feels steady, and when he finally flexes, it feels deserved. The exploration focus gives the anime a sense of adventure that a lot of modern isekai skip. And yes, some tropes are familiar, but they're handled with confidence. Watching side characters slowly realize they misjudged him is half the enjoyment. It's comfort food isekai, but with enough punch to stay memorable. Sliding into number 4. Loner Life in Another World. This one is pure chaos energy. The protagonist is antisocial, blunt, and completely uninterested in being a hero, yet ends up overpowered anyway. His skills are broken, his attitude is worse, and his social interactions are accidental war crimes. The humor lands because he genuinely doesn't care. While other isekai heroes collect allies, he collects misunderstandings and enemies. The anime roasts typical friendship tropes by refusing to engage with them seriously. When fights happen, they're brutally one-sided, and the reactions from everyone else are priceless. If you enjoy protagonists who feel allergic to main character responsibilities but still dominate effortlessly, this one's a hidden gem. And trust me, number 3, it'll mess with your head in the best way possible. Landing on number 3, The Unaware Atelier Master. This anime lives off one joke and executes it perfectly. The main character is insanely skilled but genuinely believes he's average. Not fake humble, not playing dumb, truly unaware. And the world bends itself into knots trying to correct him. He casually creates masterpieces, breaks economies, and solves impossible problems while apologizing for barely trying. The comedy comes from the reactions. Everyone else sees a living legend, while he's worried about minor mistakes. It's wholesome, frustrating, and hilarious all at once. The power fantasy feels fresh because it's accidental. No screaming, no revenge arcs, just quiet dominance that leaves everyone stunned. If you like overpowered protagonists without ego, this one is dangerously bingeable. Reaching number 2, possibly the greatest alchemist of all time. This isekai understands something important. Preparation is power. The main character's alchemy isn't just strong, it's absurdly versatile. Healing, combat, economy, warfare, he covers everything. What makes it entertaining is how methodical he is. He doesn't rush fights, he ends them before they start. Enemies think they're safe until the environment itself turns against them. The anime balances smart strategy with satisfying results, and the power creep feels intentional instead of lazy. Watching antagonists slowly realize they're completely outmatched never stops being funny. If you enjoy isekai where intelligence and planning feel just as hype as raw strength, this one deserves way more attention than it gets. Finally, number 1, Magic Maker: How to Make Magic in Another World. This is peak underrated energy. The main character doesn't just use magic, he invents it. From scratch. In a world that barely understands what he's doing, he's rewriting the rules while everyone else watches in disbelief. The power fantasy here is creativity. Every breakthrough feels earned, every spell feels dangerous, and the sense of progression is addictive. The anime nails that watching history happen feeling, where you know the world will never be the same again. Villains don't even know what to counter because magic itself is evolving. It's smart, satisfying, and quietly dominant. If you love isekai that rewards curiosity and innovation, this is an easy number 1. So yeah, underrated isekai is thriving if you know where to look. From accidental gods to defensive monsters and system-breaking geniuses, this list proves power fantasies can still feel fresh. Drop your favorites below, roast my rankings, smash the like button, subscribe for more anime chaos, and I'll see you in the next one.